Okay. Good morning. My name's Shelley, and I'm a mum of four. Different age groups. Eldest is nearly 14. Second eldest is 10. Third son is 5, and my youngest is is 3. With the coronavirus outbreak. With the coronavirus outbreak, I'm going to attempt to do some homeschooling to try and keep the children in a routine of some kind between Monday and Friday. I mentioned this to some of my girlfriends, and they've got children of a similar age group, and they said that they would really find it helpful if I was to maybe try and record what we're trying to do and share it with them originally, and then I was sort of discussing it with my soon-to-be husband. Thank you. And he said, why don't you just kind of share it with everyone? And if anyone finds this helpful, then that would be absolutely awesome. I have absolutely no professional teacher training at all. I am just a mum that wants to try and continue to educate my children as much as I can for the however long this outbreak lasts. I'm actually 16 weeks pregnant, so I'm in the catchment of the at-risk group, and so we've been self-isolating since Monday, and none of us have actually left the house. Okay, thank you, children. Please let mummy do this. Thank you. To kind of prepare ourselves for this, I've got my kitchen table. The children had a playroom. We've just recently done some renovation works in our house. I think this is going to be a lot more difficult than I think it's going to be. I haven't even done the introduction. So we've recently done some renovation works in our house, and the children have got their own sort of playroom, TV, sofas and stuff like that. So what I've been doing the last couple of days is to try and turn this room that I'm sitting in into more of a classroom setting. So I've taken one of the sofas out and put it in our kitchen, and I've brought our kitchen table in here. We have a breakfast bar in the kitchen, so the children can still have their breakfast and dinner and stuff on that, so that hopefully it will feel more of a classroom kind of, well, setting, I suppose. We've got starting to get some posters on the wall, the periodic table, the map of the world, just some things that we actually had in the house anyway. In the kids' playroom, they had all of the books. We've got some encyclopedias, their children's books, if I sort of bring it round. So we've got like shelves of it, and we've got loads of books and stuff like that sort of floating around. So hopefully we'll have that to reference. Plus, obviously, we have a PC and a laptop as well that we'll be able to be using, although I want to obviously try and keep it as interactive as I can, and also have some quiet study time at the same time. So I've never done anything like this before, and I am a complete novice to social media as well. I've been absolutely quite locked down as a parent for my children to use social media, so they're finding it a little bit surreal that someone who is actually quite private for my family and quite protective of my family, for them to kind of get their head around that I'm even posting something like this. But I think we are in unprecedented times, and I am going to do this for my children. And for me, I think it is about trying to work together as much as we can as a generation, as a society, as a human race, to try and give as much as we can to each other and not feel so isolated. I mean, we've only been in isolation for 4 days, and I'm already getting a little bit of cabin fever, if I'm honest with you, because although I never really used to socialise a lot outside the house, I had a lot of girlfriends rounds, dinners and things like that. I never really went out that much. My school run in the morning and the afternoon, and, going to the shops and doing shopping and stuff like that was kind of my getting out. And so sort of losing that I found it probably more challenging than unexpectedly challenging than I thought I was going to. And I think this for me is just the way of trying to help myself through that for the next at least minimum of 12 weeks of staying in the house. I feel already that I'm kind of a little bit connected to people. So, or to, even if it's just my friends that are looking at this, hello everyone, then that would be awesome. And if I can make a little bit of a difference to some people's lives, trying to educate their kids at home, then fantastic. So all that aside, that's the kind of introduction and stuff like that. Again, over the last couple of days, I've been preparing the room to get the kids in that mindset. Our kind of routine at the moment is not setting my alarm and stuff like that. I don't really see the point of it, although we was all up, washed and dressed by sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock Monday to Friday, as I'm sure most people with young families are doing to go and do the school run. I am still insisting that we're up, had our breakfasts, and we are washed and dressed by no later than 9:30, 10 o'clock, because I think that's a good routine for the children to be in. And then I'm looking to start the lessons at 10. My lesson plan, I've been doing a lot of research online. There's some good stuff out there. There's some stuff that I found a little bit, okay, that's really out there. I'm going to try and stick to obviously the national curriculum, because that's what my children have been learning. There are varying year groups. So I have a child in year 9, a child in... Bo?
Yeah?
Remind me.
What?
What year group?
1,
No, you.
5.
That's it. I always think you're in year 4. So sorry. So my eldest is in year 9. My second eldest is in year 5. My third eldest is in year 1, and my youngest daughter is just in preschool. So I've tried to kind of work out how I'm going to deliver this for all of my children at different age groups, at different learning stages. And I think one of the ways that I'm going to look to do it, myself and my children have discussed this, is we're going to spend the next week, the next 5 days, doing a little bit of trial and error. So we'll try one way for one day and see if that works, and then we're going to discuss it, and then we're going to try another approach for another day, and then see what kind of fits for us. Some of the websites that I've been searching are saying, they do like a subject for an entire week, and then other websites stick to more of a traditional kind of schooling of they do about an hour of each subject, and then some other websites have been doing they'll just do a morning session doing one subject and an afternoon in the other. The other is, that you teach your children just what they need at that point. I think, as I'm obviously doing this on my own, I'm going to look to do, if the kids are doing maths, all the children will be doing maths, because I think that will help me more to support them, rather than one doing science and one doing geography and one doing history, and then I've got to try and somehow, if they ask me a question, flip from subject to subject at the same time. And I think that is going to be quite challenging for myself. So, I'm definitely going to stick to that as a first process, that we will all, or the children will all, be taught or researching or, doing a particular topic on one subject at a time. So that's definitely the first thing that we're going to be looking to do, or we've decided upon as a family, as an approach. Today we're going to look to do one subject in the morning and then another subject in the afternoon. So because I think the core subjects are obviously, as most parents probably do, is English and maths. That's exactly what we're going to start with. So we're going to start with maths in the morning, and then we're going to try and do some English in the afternoon. All my children really enjoy maths. I certainly enjoy maths. It's what my background is from when I was at work, my working career. And so I think it will be a good subject for us to kind of ease ourselves into, as trying to establish this home working, environment or in process. And we're going to give it a go. I'm not going to look to live stream or anything like that. It's not particularly that I've got any reason to, or I'm going to try and edit things and stuff like that. I'm quite an open person. It's more to do with that fact, as I said at the beginning of this, I don't know, you call it a post or video. I'm quite locked down with my children's privacy, my privacy. So this is a completely new domain for me, and I don't really want to be recording my children so that I can keep their identity as, kind of locked down as I possibly can. It would just be myself. Happy to, if people think it would be useful for me to do it, or I can just do these kind of updates. I don't know. I've absolutely no idea. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before, and I don't really know what the approach is going to be at the moment. It's going to be quite fluid. It's going to be evolving, a bit like the pandemic that we're currently finding ourselves in, the situation we're finding ourselves in. And, I'm sure I'll settle into what medium or what approach I think would be best suited for you as parents, to try and help you. Even if it's we do our class, We do our daily session and our daily homeschooling, and then I just post what's worked well for us and what hasn't for other people to potentially use. So like I said, I do have some basic lesson planning that I've done on an Excel spreadsheet. I've kind of done it so it's each of my children's names, and then I've done it from Monday to Friday, and then I've broken it down to hourly blocks, and then the kind of things that I'm going to look to try and support them on. So a lot of the research that I've been doing is that you kind of start off the lesson with about a 5 or 10 minute kind of introduction to kind of give the children an overview of what we're going to be learning and what we want to try and achieve as an outcome for them. Again, that's going to bring its own challenges because each of the different ages are going to need to be achieved at a different level. So I'm going to try and do maybe 4 minutes for each. So, you know, speak to my eldest, middle, and then youngest. And then we're going to have kind of about another 10 minutes of a bit of research, which I want them to do individually. And that can either look at our exercise books that we've already got here, encyclopedias, or they can go on the PC or the laptop or the phones, obviously, mobile working as well, just to do a bit of research on the subject that we're doing. Then I'm going to look to do about a 45-minute topic. So a project of some kind that I want the children to either write down or do some further research, or say, I want you to tell me 3 things that you didn't know about this individual, about this particular subject or this plant or whatever it is that we're teaching on that day. I'm teaching on that day, or we're trying to learn about. Then obviously there's the write-up conclusion. I'm going to have another about 5-10 minutes discussion about what each of the children have learned, what they're going to take away from it. And I'm going to do this. I found a website that I found actually quite useful around that. So it's not a question of, I'm going to say, do you now know everything about Albert Einstein, for example? The children are probably all going to go, yes, of course I do, Mum. You know, I know everything about him, you know, because that's what kids do, because they want to keep you happy as a parent and they want to try and show that they've learned whatever it is that you're attempting to teach them. So I'm going to take the approach of actually trying to ask them specific questions. You know, what did you get out of this? And, you know, please do tell me something about their past that you didn't know before, but you now know, something like that. So it's much more engaging, and they will have to actually answer the questions themselves rather than just say, do you know it all now? So again, that's something that I think would be quite useful as an outcomes element. And then what I'm going to then do, so we'll then break for lunch, have an hour's lunch or half an hour, depending on what we're doing. And then we'll do the afternoon session. I'm going to try and work that lesson plan in the same way. And then at the end of it, what I'm actually going to look to do is write up as if I was marking them kind of thing on what I think they did really well on, what areas I think we need to work on a little bit more when we do that subject again, and some direct feedback immediately to say, I think you did this excellently, but have a written record of it as well so that we can refer back at the end of the week, or when we do that subject again, I can spend a couple of minutes reviewing each child's progress kind of thing as progress notes to see what I think they need to be or what they should be focusing on, or what area I need to support them on in a bit more detail the next time that we come to approach that subject. So yeah, this is completely new, like I said, for myself, and I'm going to give it a go. So if anyone does find, sorry, I feel like I'm rabbiting on a little bit here, I do apologise, but if anyone thinks that this might be helpful for them, then that's absolutely awesome. Yeah, let's give it a go. Wish me luck. Bye.